We bought a land in Liberia, right? And when we went to that spot to get the land, it was literally all bush because people haven't started buying yet. So we ended up buying 4 lots, which is 1 acre. And then later on, I would say like few months later, maybe 5, 6 months later, people started buying, and these new people that bought their land, they came and told the guy who take care of our property, mind you, already started building. They came and told the guy they feel like we got more than the 1 acre. So we should push our cornerstone. And I'm like, what? Who does that? Who commands someone to push the cornerstone so they can put their cornerstone? I knew right away they were crooks. They were trying to steal more land than they want to pay for. So we end up calling the people for land and mines, the people who
Okay. No, no
did the
kini kini
measurement
yata.
first to come back and do the measurement.
Yeah, because you said upon a
Um,
small kini kini.
because they did it and they gave us
Ah,
all the
for
paperwork.
ukanti you want
So
go say.
that's them doing the
Yeah, you
measurement, and
measure
it turned out to be
o
the
say kini kini na
exact
behind.
one acre that we purchased. And it clearly shows that they were literally trying to take way more than what they want to pay for. They wanted to
So what did
steal
you
some
say?
of our land. I don't know if they saw us like people they can just run over or like command, and they think I was gonna just take my cornerstone from there and push a little bit further for there to put their corner. I don't know how people think really. I don't know. But people be having the audacity. Like people literally be brave. I bought my land first. I already building on it. You came and met me there. But you feel like you can command me to push my cornerstone and not even in a good way too, child, please. Anyhow, this is the building. Um, we started. It's supposed to be like 2 floors. If you hear the story behind this building, Lord Jesus, we went through a lot, but mostly it's our fault. I blame us because you be hearing stories about people building in Liberia and it got ripped off and all these things, and it's just horrible stories. But mind you, even though we heard all these stories, guess what we did? The exact same thing. So that's what I said. I blame us 10,000% because we thought it wouldn't happen to us. I don't know why we be thinking we special, that it wouldn't happen to us too. But child, call us boo boo the fool number, I don't know, 10,000. Because we literally were super boo boo the fools. So when we got the land, my uncle got it for us, which was amazing. He did all the research, everything. The land is legit, and we got all the paperwork, everything. Time to build. I have someone in America here with me that said they have someone that's building for them, and the person is really good, and they know this person personally. So I'm like, okay, since he's in America here with me, and he's like a family friend, a long family friend, and he said this person been building for him, and he trusts this person. Fine, we'll use your person. So we went to use his person. Long, I'm not going to spare you all this long story. I would tell you, this person works for Satan, basically. He did one entrance. How can you say you know how to build? You don't know that every building, especially if we said it's a resort, every building should have more than one exit, at least two. For me, it should be three exits, but at least two. He had only one exit, like one way in, one way out. What kind of horror, scary stuff is that? So if people come in, they are trapped in because only one way to go in and one way to go out. And then when he did certain part of the buildings, there's no way to enter till you come in from another way, go through rooms to enter the living room, stuff like that. I'm like, what? But again, I
Stop
blame
when you didn't
us,
say what?
okay? And if I tell you how much money we spent first, and we had to
Okay.
break most of the walls down because we got this guy legit now that will, do the necessary fixing and stuff. But that's extra money that we didn't have to spend. Extra
Open again,
waste.
need to be
And
closed.
I can't even go in details to tell you.
Storage
The
pantry.
first day we hired,
Okay.
all our steel rods, all
Bedroom.
the materials we bought, do you know he didn't use most of it? The building didn't have steel rods inside. It didn't have steel rod in the walls. And that's what this guy was, touching and feeling. When they went and break the wall, it just came crumbling down. I'm like, and we bought all these steel rods. And I noticed when he sent us video to show of us of him building, it's always little kids I saw. And I always used to ask, why are there all little kids? And when I say little kids, I mean like kids that are 12 years old, 12 to 15. I would say the oldest will be 15 years old or 16. And that always used to disturb me. I'm like, why are there a bunch of kids doing the mixing cement and around the building? Because he told me he had legit workers. And he's like, oh no, these are the workers that are working. The kids come in, and help them out. But I would not see these workers. I would always see the kids. And he said, and he always give excuse.
So the
These are
bathroom
the
are in there.
workers'
Y'all bought
kids.
it too?
You gotta follow your
The
gut feeling.
bathroom
First of all, don't be abroad
Okay,
and
so
then
yeah, will be
let
what?
somebody build your
They
house.
want you
Okay?
to bring
I
it
know
up.
we've heard it many times. I heard it before. And I literally
Yeah.
did what people were warning me not to do. And I'm warning you guys to, like, please trust me.
Okay.
It can happen to you too.
Okay.
I thought it wouldn't happen to me. I don't know why. Because I ain't special than everybody else. But it did happen to me. And I was literally ripped out of like, we were ripped out of so much money. But by God's grace, we were able to find this guy. And by the way, when I called the guy to stop, I managed to know something definitely was going on because I already had a gut feeling. The person that recommended the first guy we hired, the family friend that recommended him, called me and said, hey, I've been noticed because he went Liberia in December to finally take a look at his house. And then he called me and said, yo, when I went to look at my house was a hot mess. The same thing, one exit, no stereo in the building, nothing. And he said the way the building was, it's like the person didn't do measurement, it was crooked, all kinds of stuff. So he was like, you need to stop this person from building for you. And I'm like, bruh, are you serious? After we literally put about $45,000 to this person in this building, now you're telling me, I thought you told me that you trust this person and blah, blah, blah. He said, yeah, because they just started building for me. I didn't know. I thought this person been building for you and you know this person ready. Oh my goodness. Yep. So when I called the guy, like, hey, don't touch my property. Let it go. And that's how I got a family friend. First, I didn't want to I didn't want to involve family in it because, you don't want your family to know what you're doing. It gets all messy. But now I had to involve my family in it because the same thing I was trying to avoid, that's the same thing that happened. So I called my family to go get a legit person to come and take a look at the property, and that's the dude here. And right away, he said from outside, because we were on video call, from outside looking at the building, he was like, who did this? I'm like, yeah, you can see from outside that this whole building needs to be taken down. And he wasn't the one that slapped the building. And when I tell you I had God's feeling, every time it was time to slap the building, he will have an excuse every time for him to. I'm like, how this? Oh, this person's sick. My wife pregnant and she need to go to the hospital. Every time he had an excuse, and I'm like, wait a minute. We already pay for everything. We already have all the materials. And now for the slapping, you always have excuse. And mind you, when you were building it first, he was always available. But now time to slap, he wasn't. So when this guy came, first to take a look at it, without the top there, it's like there was no way this man could slap the building because the slab wouldn't have, I mean, the foundation or the blocks wouldn't have hold the slab because there is no steel rod in the building. That's why this guy kept avoiding slapping it because he knew what he did or had missed. And all my materials I bought, when my sister went there, after I told him to stop doing the work, one of the little board that I used to see on the video was still there. So my sister called him and later they threatened him and said, if you don't tell me what you've been doing here, I will take you to the police station. So that's how he told my sister all the materials we've been buying, right? The guy would take it. I'm like, what do you mean by the guy would take it? I'm on the phone with this little boy because I'm confused. He sent me video of the offloading the materials. So how? He said, oh yeah, when we offload it, after the video is done, he tell us to unload it again on the truck and then he take it to his place. I'm like, people go through all this trouble to steal? Oh my goodness, I must be a lazy person then. Because I'm not gonna when I tell you it's so much materials, I'm not gonna offload all those materials just to show recording for the person to see that the materials on land and to put it on the land and then load it back on the truck. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of time. But I guess when it comes to stealing, people they don't care. He used those little kids to offload and load it back on the truck. And find out that yes, what my gut feeling was telling me, those little kids were the one building this thing.